Hello, scientists. Happy end of the week. Oh my, I totally forgot to tell you about that. Even though today is Thursday, it is our last day together this week. And well, we won't see each other until Tuesday. We have 2 extra days off for a 4-day weekend, so we should really hustle. Oh, what was that? Oh, you don't know why we have 2 extra days off. Okay, well, tomorrow is the Lunar New Year. I know that might be new for some of you and potentially confusing because we just had a new year. Well, the new year that we just celebrated is based on the sun's movements, while Lunar New Year is based off the moon's phases. In Spanish, we call the moon la luna. So the word lunar makes sense to me. Did any of you already know that word in Spanish? Cool. Lunar New Year is celebrated by many cultures and countries, including China and Vietnam. San Francisco usually hosts fun festivities like parades for several weeks and is usually centered in Chinatown. I've heard that the decorations are beautiful and the whole area is fun and lively. So that accounts for this Friday. We have Monday off for President's Day. This holiday is actually supposed to be a day that celebrates the birthdays of 2 former presidents. Our first, George Washington, and our 16th, Abraham Lincoln. They're so close to each other that most places honor them on one day. And that's what we do here in San Francisco. But that means that we only have 4 days this week and 4 days next week to learn together. I'm sad we have less time, but I'm also grateful for the time that we do have. Well, let's finish this week before we get started on the next one. Let's review our learning for the week, and you can follow along with me or use your own notebook. All right, so on Monday, we started our week with our 2 questions. What do plants and animals need to live? And are butterflies plants or animals? We answered these questions in part by sharing things we already knew about plants and animals' needs. These answers helped guide us through our exploration, científicos, over the next 2 days. On Tuesday, we learned about animals and monarch butterflies, while on Wednesday, or yesterday, we learned about what plants need. We were able to answer the first question, but what about the second? What do you think, scientists? Are butterflies animals or plants? Oh, okay. So now we're all saying animals. Now let's make our answers more scientific. How do you know that butterflies are animals? What evidence do we have, scientists? Well, okay, you're all right, but we can't just talk about our learning. What's our next step, scientists? See, we need to conclude our learning by answering the questions. So let's do that. Let's set up our entries with the date, page number, and title. It will be Plants and Animal Needs Conclusion. Be sure to write this and our other entries from this week in your table of contents later. All right. So yesterday was February 10th, so today is February 11th. All right, muy bien. So we already wrote animal and plant needs in our first entry, but I want to add something. I noticed an interesting connection when I shared my research on monarchs and milkweed plants with you. I realized that monarchs and milkweeds really need each other. Monarchs can lay their eggs on these plants, and the butterflies help these plants reproduce. I was thinking we could add them to our list of needs. What do you think? That is the better idea. We should write it in our conclusion. Let me see, we can say, plants and animals need air, water, food, a place, and each other to live. I think that sums up our learning on that. Let's write it down. Animales y plantas. So, what do plants and animals need to live? They need air, water, food, a place, and each other to live. They need air, water, food, a place, and each other to live. Eso. All right. So now, scientists, how do we know for certain that butterflies are animals? What made them different from plants? See, yes. Based on our research and evidence, butterflies move to get their food and have to find it, like animals. Plants do not have to find their food. It just shines on them and then they make it on their own. So how can we write that? Ha, I've got it. Butterflies are animals because they have to find their food, unlike plants. Does that sound like an answer to our second question? I think so too. Let's write it down. Butterflies are animals because butterflies are animals because they have to find their food, comma, unlike plants, and this is a sentence, so I end with a period. Butterflies are animals because they have to find their food, unlike plants. All right. Great. Wow, I feel like I learned so much with all of you this week. What questions do you still have about living things and their needs? Oh, that's a really good question. That hadn't occurred to me, I'm wondering about some things, but I think I'll share them next week. Thank you all so much for asking and answering questions with me this week. It was also really exciting learning how to take notes with you. You are all wonderful scientists. Please enjoy the rest of the show and be sure to be extra observant of the living things in your neighborhood this weekend. Have a great day, científicos. Nos vemos.